We are happy to have with us Marie Sonnekus. She's joining us, and as part of our celebration of Women's Month, I've just decided to just invite a couple of people and ask them about what they see as empowerment, and especially empowerment in women. And with us today, we've got Marie Sonnekus. She's got a background in psychology. She works with play therapy and children's psychology a lot. And she's completed a master's in practical theology. She's also a guide and a life activation practitioner in the Modern Mystery School. And I've had the pleasure of working alongside her for many, many years. And the reason why I invited Marie to join us is because there's something about the mother goddess and, that safe mother energy that she carries with her. That I've always admired, sometimes from afar and sometimes a little bit closer, and often I've had the honor of experiencing that safe space and that healing that she so shares with the world so freely. So Marie, I'm very honored to have you with me today, and thank you for making time available out of your very busy schedule to join us on this call.
Thank you, Leonie. Thank you for inviting me. It's a wonderful project and a wonderful opportunity for me.
So, Marie, if you think of an empowered woman, what do you see as an empowered woman?
Well, I gave it a few minutes of thought before the call, and what stood out for me was independence. An empowered woman should have worked through her issues in life to be 100% independent. If we are dependent on someone or something, there's always the pressure to be compliant to this person or this process or this thing. And you will never be free if you're not really independent. So for me, independence stood out. An empowered woman that rules her world and decides consciously what she allows and who she allows in this world. Empowerment is not just tolerating someone or tolerating something. It's really deciding and taking control over your life. And this empowered woman never asks permission to be herself and to express herself, and never says sorry for the way she opened her heart. So for me, an empowered woman is really 100% being yourself. And the empowered woman surrounds herself, in my view, with supportive people that encourages her and supports her in ruling her world and expressing her in the way she wants to. And very important, an empowered woman is very creative, whatever that means for her, but expressing her in her relationships, in her work, in the way she creates or makes a living in this world. This must be totally her. Never having to say sorry for this is who I am and this is what I'm doing. So in a nutshell, I think this is an empowered woman, and that's a happy woman. So we all go through phases where we're not happy or there's upsets or whatever. But overall, the empowered woman works through her stuff to get to a place of happiness quickly again.
Wow, Marie, and that is a mouthful, but so relevant for us, not only as South African women, but as women across the world. It's so often we hear from society or from people outside of us that we're too much, or we feel that we are hard work when we demand something, or we ask something, or we drive for
Yes.
something,
Yes.
which so often is so misunderstood, right? And
Yeah.
um, you know, we have to pull down into such a deep resource, um,
Yes.
and have such a profound connection with our purpose to actually keep us from not being washed back by all these external voices all the time, right?
Exactly. And I think that for the empowered woman, it's work in progress. We should never think we should be perfect and reach that and stay in that, you know. It's a process. There will always be challenges. There will always be that stuff coming into our life and into our kingdom. And then we need to deal with it. But that voices you talk about is so important. We have been trained by our childhood, our parents, by society. We've been programmed in a way for what is acceptable and who we should be, and we'll only be loved if we are this way or that way. And we should really on to really get to our true self and to express that. And the interesting thing is, when you get rid of all those voices and you really step into your power of being 100% yourself, that's where the magic is. And that's where the most success is, on the other side of that fear of being judged.
Wow. But I like what you say. It almost sounds like you're equating our lives as us being the queen and us having a kingdom.
Yes,
Creators or partners, whether that's male or female, and
yes,
just like a king or a queen would protect the borders of their kingdom, so we should
yes,
be looking at protecting our space and what we allow
definitely.
to come in and out, but also active choice about what
Yes,
I want to create, and being cognizant
exactly.
of what do I want to create in my life. Do I want joy? Do I want happiness? Do I want a big house? Do I want a small house? Do
Yes,
I want to have a garden? Whatever it is that you want to create, you are
yes.
the curator or director of that, right? Um,
So true. And to get to a point where you actually allow yourself to even think about these things you really want and what you won't allow and what you don't like. For many women and for me personally, it took many years to get to that point of, well, this is how it is. I'm allowing myself to have this.
mm,
So, and it's our birthright.
mm. And Marie, just off the cuff of that, um, it sounds to me also like being a woman and embodying that empowerment is also kind of a little bit of footwork, or a balance between sometimes wielding the soft mother energy and sometimes being the assertive warrioress to say, up until here and no more. And so
Exactly.
many times, you know, I think, uh, we are lured into believing that we should always just, accept and roll over instead of, you know, really saying, but this is what I want, um,
Yes,
and having our voice.
definitely. Yeah, an empowered woman is a very, very strong person. And a woman overall is forces to be reckoned with. And we misunderstand that strength. We think, we have to go to the male side to have that strength. And that's not true. A woman that puts her foot down can do it in the nicest way, and no one knows what to say.
Absolutely.
So that strength is in there. We have to connect to it and also allow ourselves to flow that.
Mm, mm. And talking about strength, what do you think is the woman's, and maybe you've answered it already, but maybe you can summarize it for us. What do you think is a woman's greatest strength? What is it inside of us that we carry, that we have? that
Yeah.
gives us that ability to create the dream, to think of ways to expand our families, to create a beautiful earth or a beautiful life.
Yes. Yeah. Women, we have so many strengths, but for me personally, being a mother to our children, having the ability to birth a baby into this world, but also to birth new ideas and new ways of doing and birthing a new world, because the world we live in is pretty screwed up sometimes, you know. And we, the mothers, have that power to change things. The way we can gather our family together and keep them together, we are also the mother of the children of the world. We can really change things if we really become that mother and flow that unconditional love we have in our heart. A mother can get angry and she can put boundaries there, but there's unconditional love. A woman will never turn her back on her child. And I think if we as women can really step into that and allow ourselves to let go of the judgment and the separation and all of that, and to have that and really be mothers, we can create a whole new world.
Mm, mm. And we need that, right? If we look at the world
Yes.
out there, I think it's time for women to really step up. I think we've waited long enough for things to happen to us and for us. Perhaps it's time for us to reconsider, join hands, and create something different.
Exactly, exactly. And sometimes, you know, it's a process to get to that place where we join hands and we stand together, because that ego inside of us comes and says, no, this person, let her go, and judgment and all of that. And sometimes someone else pushes our buttons
Mm,
and puts their finger into that deep hurt that we've been carrying for so many years.
mm,
And the surprise is when we heal that wound and we let go of that hurt through hard work, no one is able to push your buttons. And then we can really take hands and change the world.
mm. So what you were saying is that healing is also part of that empowerment process, and sometimes healing means
Yes.
prioritizing ourselves and our own need above that of our family, which is so counter what we are told by society, or what we so often as we take up. We always go, you know, children first, my needs last. And if you think about an aeroplane, what do they say? Put the mask on your own face first before helping someone else. Um,
Exactly.
and that's maybe that programming that you're talking about. We've
Yes.
thought, a good mother is self-sacrificing. They don't have a life of their
Yes.
own. They vicariously live through their children. They never oppose their husband. She's a difficult woman if she does, those kind of things.
Yes.
Maybe that's all the kinds of things it's time for us to let go.
Definitely, that programming it doesn't serve us in this time anymore. And a real empowered woman that does what she loves and sometimes put herself first and fill her inner with joy is the best mother they can be. You
Wow.
know, when we've been to the spa or having some tea with a friend, when we come home, that kids can have tantrums. It doesn't matter because we are calm and relaxed and happy.
Well, I can do with a cup of tea right about now during COVID.
Yes,
For sure,
me
I
too.
need cups of tea. So, Marie, as I said, I've worked with you a lot over the years. In my personal capacity, I've worked with you with my children. You've given me amazing guidance. And I have always admired you and always felt that you are the kind of um, woman that there's a power, there's an innate power in you that you carry. Who, if you have to look and name someone, who would you see as someone that is empowered, and why?
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Leonie. So I have a very interesting role model for an empowered woman. It's a Japanese lady I met many years ago in Canada when I traveled there. And her name is Azusa Yoda. And she's a very interesting person. She thinks out of the box. She cannot speak a word of English. And if she can, she has not revealed it to anyone. She's the lead singer of a heavy metal band, and she is just doing her thing. And she drives this very fast black car, and you can see she answers to no one. It doesn't matter what the norm for society is, this girl does her thing. And it's so interesting. When I met her, there was obviously no English. I could not communicate. But just being in her presence was so overwhelming. And I felt her leadership. And it's almost as if that I'm a friend and I would off a little bit on me. And that was for me an amazing experience to have met this woman. So, yeah, for me, that's an empowered woman.
Right. Being unapologetically yourself, owning
Yes,
what you stand for, and
exactly.
just almost resting and relaxing um, in knowing that that is who you are. You know,
Yes, yeah.
yeah,
So
wow.
that's some of the qualities I would love more. I don't even listen to heavy metal music, but this woman is just amazing.
But it sounds like, it's the energy, as you say. She you guys couldn't even properly communicate, but the way
Yes,
in which she carried herself, and I don't know her personally, but I can see, what you're referring to. I can almost see her driving around in her car, and going,
yes,
wow. I even get that
yeah,
energy transmission through you, and
exactly.
oftentimes we think we should have the right words, or we have to say the right thing, and sometimes maybe it's got nothing to do with words and speaking.
Exactly.
Mm.
And I think for us, being empowered women, we should really carry that energy. And if we really step into that power of empowerment, we won't need to say a word.
Wow. Marie, you've
Yeah.
given me some great food for thought, some soul food. And yeah, I can see and I can feel your enthusiasm. And yeah, thanks for spending the time with us. And I look forward to connecting with you soon.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was a wonderful experience for me.
Thank you for your time, Goddess.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.